Hello, welcome to Follow Everton. I am Ryan, the channel admin, and I've got my wonderful co-host Domino Chris with me. This is the Everton post-match phone-in show. We've just had a very interesting, a very insightful, very entertaining post-match reaction, which Chris was responsible for.
Don't blame me for this nonsense.
There was around 600 people watching live throughout most of that stream. I think at least 400 throughout the whole thing. Fantastic. Fans want answers. Fans feel lost. I mean, I think I speak for everyone here, Chris, when to say that we're down, we're depressed, I think it's beyond anger. I've just had to console my partner next door, who's very, very down in the dumps, very, very sad. And I said, you know, there's nothing that bad in the world that is like this. So what I'm trying to say, sorry, is that this isn't the end of the world. This isn't the end of the world. Hang on, Amy. Don't just put yourself in. Just barge into the stream. This is not the end of the world. And I had to say, I know that's what people sometimes say to comfort others when something bad happens, but ultimately, no one's died.
There are
I know
more
it's
important
sad,
things.
but
there are more important things, absolutely. But having said
didn't
all that,
say what I was trying to say that well there, but you know what I was trying to say, Chris.
I absolutely get it. Listen, at the end of the day, our life goes on. We all have other issues that shouldn't be put ahead, or excuse me, Everton Football Club shouldn't be put ahead of important family issues, things like that. Having said that, it doesn't change the fact that we're still all down because we put so much stock, time, effort, money, life, memories, all that stuff we've put into our entire lives. And so, yeah, we're pretty angry given we've watched the decline. We've watched the state of our football club just go down because of the nonsensical idiocy, mismanagement, call it whatever you want. We've watched it happen, and we're sat here hopeless and can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I'm powerless. There's no control over it. And they always say, you can't worry about something you can't control. Well, we are. And yeah, I mean, I've just consoled her, and I'm sure there's lots of people consoling each other and trying to lift everyone's spirits. But ultimately, it is sad. We're all down. We're all in the dumps. And, what can we do? And this is your place now to vent now for a little while. I've got Peter Duggan waiting very patiently to come in, who was first in the queue, Amy. So I do think it's the right thing. Unless, are you waiting for a bus? Amy?
She looks like she's on the bus. I think.
Are you on the bus, Amy?
Hey, Pete. Just give us 1 second. I just want to get a quick Amy perspective. Thanks for jumping in. Let's just get Amy on just real quick. If she's gonna lose signal.
Yeah, and then we'll go to Peter and then Woody, okay? And anyone else who comes in after. Amy, thank you for your patience.
I'm so sorry for pushing in.
No, you're fine. The face paint's
Look
gone.
at the state of me. Look at me. Like, I cannot believe. I can believe what I've just witnessed, actually. Like, but I was just so sad and I just needed consoling.
No, you're fine.
I'm devastated. Like, it's going to be ridiculous and I'm not going to cry on YouTube as I cried leaving the stadium. But, like, I just can't believe it. I cannot believe what it's like. That's it. That was make or break for me tonight, and it's happened. And that team are not going to survive this league, even if we do stay up. Next year is going to be pointless.
Yeah, because it's the same
players. It's just sickening. We're just awful. We're absolutely awful. We can't string a pass together. We can't do anything.
Amy, you do suspect it will be the same players again next season if we did manage to survive?
Yeah, so but at least the championship level players. Nothing but awful. Liquidizers.
No, I mean, even if we do stay up, Amy, it's the same bunch. We don't have the money to start investing a lot, do we, really? I suspect.
We're not going to. Like, there's no way we're going to start investing in anything because we can't. Like, theoretically, and I don't mean that in terms of we can't keep up with the big spenders in the league, but let's be honest, if this FFP investigation does what it's supposed to do, we're not going to be able to invest. They're going to transfer embargo us at least. So,
yeah, transfer embargo, points deduction, relegation. It's
going to be players like Pickford aren't going to stay as much as I want him to. Onana probably isn't going to stay. It won't be. Doesn't have to stay. Coleman's going to retire. So what are we left with? I'm left with Ben Godfrey running around like an headless chicken. I'm left with someone called him Slim Shady, Mikolenko. That was the highlight of the night. Slim Shady is going to be there because no one's going to want him. Not for 20 million we paid for him. And we're absolutely shagged. Sorry to everybody on the train that can hear me say that. I'm sorry to everybody who's just heard me say that on YouTube.com.
And on that bombshell, Amy, are you, if you're on your way home, please jump on when you are in safer water, so to speak, without any background noise. I suspect we'll be here till midnight. So
yeah,
brilliant. I'll see you soon.
We might come back into you as well, if we haven't got any other callers. Okay.
Love yous. Enjoy yourself,
Thanks,
boys.
Amy. Bless you. I feel sorry for her because she's got her hopes up. She's got geared up for it with the face paint, the pyros, motivation. But ultimately, Chris, if you're not good enough, there's only so much we can do as fans.
Absolutely.
And she shouldn't feel so sad in her heart, for she's tried and there's nothing we can do about it. Let's introduce our first speaker then, our first caller. This is one of our regular listeners, Peter Duggan. Thank you so much, Peter, for coming on. You're speaking to Ryan. I'm sure you've watched me many times. And Chris, so welcome to the show. How are you feeling?
If you can hear us. Oh, sorry. Go on, lad.
Yeah. I think there's no one feeling. Oh, Jesus, after watching all that. Well, I only watched up until like the third goal win, and that was it. I just sort of plonked out after that. I mean, you can't really like. You struggle to watch this sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest with you, lads. I mean, you've probably seen me comments a couple of years ago and whatever, saying like, where I am in terms of my mental health and whatever. I'm not in as bad as a place, now, but
pleased to hear.
Like, you look at that team and you think there's no point in watching it anymore. Like that's how bad they are. Like, how can you watch that week in and week out? You know what I mean? I used to be a season ticket holder, and I'm like, I'm pretty glad I gave it up, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard what you've been saying, like about Godfrey and that, and how poor he was. And I'll be honest, I don't really disagree with you, but I can't really blame him, because I'm looking and I'm thinking, well, why is he playing fullback positions when he's a centre half? I mean, can Dyche not see that this is an error? Like, and I'll be honest with you, lads, I didn't want Dyche as the manager when we were first rumoured to be getting a new manager. I didn't want Dyche because, personally, I didn't have good feelings about him. Like, I'd seen him at Burnley, and, he's got this mentality of, he can get a working class team up for a game, but his tactics, they're just piss poor, mate. They're awful.
Yeah, for all the stick that our former managers get and that Sean Dyche is not getting, it's about that time people start opening their eyes, because every decision he's made has been poor. I've said it for the last couple of hours. Really, I've said it for the last few weeks. It all started with Forrest for me, not making a sub. And I know we're not going to – I try not to dwell on the past too much, but that's 2 drop points. It's just a fact. And from then on, it's just been absolutely awful, with the only exception being the Chelsea match where he brought on a couple of subs late that actually paid off, changed his tactics up, and for some reason he just hasn't done it since. Forget the fact, again, I've said it numerous times, Godfrey's just not that quality player. He's just, first off, he's not a right back. Second off, he's not that much quality when he's in his quote-unquote natural position anyway. But the fact of the matter is, Dyche hung him out to dry. He left him on for the entirety of the game to get burned time after time after time again. And it's just, if you're that point, by the time the 4th goal goes in, if you're Godfrey, you just throw your hands up. And you say, why are you doing this to me?
Some of those players were furious when those goals went in. At the fact that you had one player able to dance round 3, and we haven't even got players that can beat anyone 1v1, never mind 1v3.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're right. That Chelsea game, should have been the catalyst, shouldn't it, Peter? 2-2.
Yeah.
That should have been the catalyst for us to kick on and go and get some wins and play with more freedom. But we've just gone and completely regressed.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm actually dreading the fact that we could be going down, because I mean, it's not even the fact that we've got Dyche's manager, we've got this many poor players that I'm worried about. The thing that scares me the most is there is absolutely no foundation there whatsoever at the club. When I look at this club, not just from the first team perspective, but below it, like, I'm looking at players like Cannon and Sims coming through and all that, and they do look like decent players, but they're never getting an opportunity. And a part of me is looking and I'm thinking, well, Dyche isn't giving Sims an opportunity. But then again, neither did Lampard. And Ancelotti held young players back who were showing promise. And so did Marco Silva, and so did, Fat Scam Allardyce. So, you're looking at, this same recurring thing happening over and over again. And I'm looking and thinking, well, what's really going on below the first team? Because when I see people like Unsworth and Stubbs and Baines getting jobs as coaches at this club, I'm looking and thinking, well, they're Evertonians. They do care about the club, and I do appreciate the fact that a lot of people know that, and we all know that they care about the club. But my question about Leighton Baines is, what does he have on his CV as a coach that says I can develop young players and lay down a pathway for them to become Premier League players? Because it is about development at the end of the day. But all I'm seeing is them going out on loan and then nothing happens. It's just like this old. And I'm not saying I want a bunch of young players who are going to become world beaters. I just want a young player who can come into the first team and hold his own. And I get the impression that Sims could do that, but why does Dyche not want to pick him? What is he seeing that we are not, that says he's not capable yet?
He's weighing up the pros and cons, isn't he? If I put in Sims, I'm losing a pressing player, and I potentially lose that midfielder. So he's weighing up what he wants to do. And I think Calvert-Lewin's back. It's just Calvert-Lewin. I think in another life, Sean Dyche would probably like Sims and DCL as a front two. I think at Burnley last season, he would have loved to have them two up top for him. We don't play to the player's strengths in terms of getting that ball into the box, into dangerous areas. I think the crossing, the quality of the crossing and the quality of the wing play is the worst that I can ever remember supporting Everton in nearly 30 years. But Peter, thank you so much. Have you got any final points before we move on to our next speaker? I really appreciate you coming on and also for your continued viewership.
One final point I want to look at is I don't want to upset anyone. I might have a bit of a controversial view here, but I'll be honest.
Please go ahead.
The point of people saying, "Oh, we kept the team up last season with our support." Our support was amazing, and it still is. But let me be clear: we didn't stay up last season because of the fans. We stayed up last season because there were 3 teams who were worse than we were, and now. It doesn't look like that's the case anymore, and I think that's the reason why we're going down, is because all the teams that are in and around us, they've gradually improved the way they're playing. We just look like we're sinking lower than the Titanic.
It is different. It's a different feeling. We were up for it last season. We were angry. We were furious. We felt cheated by things, and this season it is like you hold your hands up and you just crisp on. Pete, thank you so much for coming on, and I hope you'll be in the comments. And thank you so much for checking in, and we'll see you on the next phone in.
No problem, mate. See you.
Thanks, Peter. Nice to get our first speaker on there, Chris. And Peter Duggan's been watching this for a while. I can feel his pain.
Absolutely. We're all in the same boat.
Extremely deflated. We've got Woody coming up next, and then we've got Rob, who is next in line. And then Everton and the Doc has just joined, but I'm sure we'll get through quite a few people in the next half an hour. Ideally, you don't want the camera on unless you've got a clear picture. I don't want anyone sat in bed with the phones, looking up like Jeff last night, like he was in a hospital bed. So if you haven't got your camera set up in an appropriate way, i.e. at a desk or even in the living room where we can see, then please just turn your camera off. I think Rob's got a good setup in the background there, so I'm more than happy with Rob's. Let's go to Woody. Hi, Woody. Need to unmute.
Hi, okay.
Hi, mate. I'm not going to ask you how you're feeling because I'm assuming you are an Evertonian and you're like us down in the dumps. But what would you like to talk about?
Oh, where do you start? First of all, I'd just like to say to Ryan, I think you're absolutely brilliant what you do. And
thank you,
Chris,
mate.
considering he's from over, he's from across the pond, he's a bigger Evertonian than what I've seen from people, local. He's absolutely amazing.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
But I don't know where to start with this because I thought we played well today, the first half. I didn't think DCL was offside, and goals change games, and it just went pear-shaped as usual. And You know, I don't know, but it's not over till it's over. We still got a chance to stay up, and that's it. But everyone seems to be waving a white flag over this now. Even when the game last night, everyone's like giving up, and we're not mathematically down. We've still got a chance, and you know, who knows how it's going to go. But I think if we do go down, I don't think we're going to come up. I think we're going to be like a Nottingham Forest. If we go down, I think we're down there for years. I really do.
You know, I gotta say, we haven't said that a lot, and we probably haven't said it enough. We're not down yet. I mean, we still have other games, and I'm not optimistic. I'm not looking forward to watching it on Monday or for the rest of the season. We already know our fixtures and how quote unquote unwinnable they are, or however you want to phrase it. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm still hoping we can find some miraculous, as Ryan said, miracle from the Messiah himself. But I'll still watch. We're still here. We'll all still be here to come vent or whatever the case is. It's just, mate, I thought Fulham was bad. Today was something special.
Yeah. I keep thinking that we're going to see a good performance this season. You know, with 6 games to go, I think we're going to see a good performance. We're going to see something before the end of the season. But we're leaving it late, obviously, and we're running out of time. But it's still, to me, it's still in our hands. Teams around us got more difficult games than us. We've got to win our next two. The two big games at home. We need to beat that. We need to win them. And we'll see how it goes from there.
I think this is the thing. This is the delusion that gets you. We should be able to compete with Wolves. We should be able to compete with Bournemouth, and we should be able to compete with Leicester. Okay, these are 3 of the dross teams in the league. Yes, we are a dross team, but we have quality in some positions, not many. Let's play to our strengths. Let's try and mitigate our weaknesses. Let's not do what we did and stick Ben Godfrey up against Harvey Barnes and expect them to not get done 1v1 every single time. If it's going to be the case, you're going to have a very disciplined right winger, or you might have to go to 5 at the back and have someone meeting him wider. Because I felt like when we had Joel Linton closer to the touchline, we were able to cope with him a bit better. When he's got loads of space to run into and he's got you turn back the other way, rather than him having to turn and do a lot more, we really struggled. So we have to try and mitigate our weaknesses, play to our strengths. And there are 3 winnable games there. And I suspect, Woody, that 9 points will keep us up. Do these players probably deserve to stay up? In my heart of hearts, no. Do this ownership, do the board deserve to have a Premier League club? No. For the way we've recruited, for the way we've sold players, we don't deserve anything. The only positive things about this club are the fans. The fans have been dragged through a hedge and back and are covered in mud, and it's totally unfair what's happened to us, mate. It really is. It's a scandal. It's a disgrace. I actually run out of superlative negative words to use in my post-match reactions and the match titles. I seem to be using pathetic, scandalous, and capitulation a lot. So, don't know if you've got any final thoughts, Woody, before we move on.
No, that's what I mean. No, we go to Man City. No one expected. I expected a cricket score instance. We go there, get a draw. We play against high-flying Arsenal at Goodison. We win 1-0. Then we can't beat Fulham, Wolves. You know, so you think there is a team there that can compete with the best. You know, we beat Tottenham. You know, we can get out of this. But when other teams are winning around us, and then we're performing against teams we should be beating, you know, we're in real trouble, aren't we?
Thanks, Woody. I think much appreciated, Woody. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. All the best.
All the best.
Mate,
thanks, Woody.
again.
Keep watching. Love you, man. We'll get you on again next phone in. Please keep in the comments. He makes some really good points.
He speaks absolute sense, and I'll say this just to piggyback off of that. Everything he said about us high flying against or having these decent performances that we don't expect, we showed that for the first 20 to 25 minutes. We didn't take our chances. Okay, that's one thing, but we showed that we were at least up for it. We're up for the fight. We're actually playing possessive football. So how of all times can our manager not see and adapt with us? And he's just disappeared.
We were the better team for 30 minutes. What we didn't do was show a little bit of composure when we needed to, when we did get possession back, because we could win the ball back, we could win it back. We would turn Newcastle over. You know, we made them suffer, we made them struggle. They were nervous to the point where they were having to fall on the floor every 5 minutes and break up play and take time and time over the goal kicks. They were time wasting. They did what David has described as the perfect away performance: break up play, quieten the crowd as much as possible, stifle them, do all that sort of stuff. They did that. It was irritating, the play acting and all that sort of nonsense. But Everton, when they actually tried, I think we were able to win the ball out of the pitch. We squeezed them. It was when we got it. It was how we caused Newcastle problems. I think it was too safe. It was too predictable. It was too easy to deal with. We were scared to commit numbers forward. The goal's a sucker punch. The offside goal is ridiculous. But if it's offside, it's offside. And then the moments of magic right back, I think you could see he was always struggling from literally the first minute in the second half. I was thinking, you know, they nearly scored. I thought, oh my God, get a right back on. Just stick someone in front of him if you need to. We'll go to 5. But no one, we let it slide. He didn't recognise that. And they get the 2 goals and the worldie. Pickford also made an incredible save as well. We're not going to do match reactions, but I think I've made some valid points there as well. Right, let's go over to Rob. Chris, would you like to introduce our next speaker?
Yeah, sure. Jump in here, Rob. Let me get you in here. Rob, you okay, mate?
Hi, guys. Just sort the camera angle out. Anything?
Yeah, you're fine. That's perfect.
Maybe my face is a bad camera angle. So could I just start by saying you guys are doing a great job in terms of the channel. I think it's really entertaining. The passion's flowing through the screen. I'm sure everyone who's watching that can see it. I don't want to be too much of a fraud, but I'm a Leeds fan, so I'm sort of sharing a lot of your pain.
Sure.
Again, fans are the bottom of the food chain in football, really always have been. So I can massively appreciate what you guys are going through. The point I really wanted to make is let's jump ahead and let's just say Everton suffer relegation. The Championship is an absolute quagmire. And I think anybody who doesn't, I mean, Everton fans will probably be less familiar with the Championship than Leeds were down for 16 years.
Right.
Leeds are a big club. Yeah. So we were down there for 16 years. I think it was meltdown when we did go down in 03-04. I don't think Everton, now I've got no evidence to back this up, but I imagine a lot of Everton fans don't really understand what the Championship is all about. Every game that Everton play in the Championship. Now, listen, this is a presumption. Everton might.
We don't know, Rob. We don't really.
Might not go down. We don't know. You know, it's a funny old game, but in terms of a Leeds fan suffering these 16 years of absolute hellhole in the Championship, every game is the opposition's cup final because you're the biggest team in the league. Everyone's lifting their performance against you. It's like even at home games are like away games at a lower league in the cup. That's the sort of game that you can play, and you can't transfer that that sort of nature of football into Championship football. I think Wolves probably were one of the teams that did it back in the day. Leeds had a fantastic Championship performance under Bielsa. Bielsa was an anomaly. He got out of the Championship playing, you know, football, technical football, as opposed to the brutality that it's known for. So. Again, the relegation battle is absolutely fascinating. Leeds are absolutely in it, no question. We're well in it.
Yeah,
we could easily go down. So that's really what I mean. It's not like a warning sign, but that was the observation that I wanted to put forward. I'm with you guys. I mean, I'm an opposition team fan, but I'm feeling all of this.
We respect you very much for coming on here, Rob. With respect, though, what I would say is if Leeds got relegated compared to Everton, you won't like this, but I don't see it as much of a catastrophe in the fact that you're not suspected to get a 15-point or whatever big deduction in points for transfer stuff. I think the overall circus around us would make this not just a relegation. This would be potentially a whole lot of circular things. We've got the stadium that might not get fulfilled. We've got the administration potential due to the finances and the FFP investigation, the potential transfer issue. So with respect, it's not like you've come up and spent 500 million on players and you could be in a huge black hole of debt and stuff if you went down. I think Leeds would survive and rebuild and possibly come straight back up. Whereas I think Everton, as you say, will be the biggest club down there in terms of with a laughing stock of the league, would become the comedy show. Everyone wants to get tickets to watch it and It could be a double jeopardy type situation for us.
What I would say, Ryan, is I hadn't even thought of that financial issue.
Trust me, we've been thinking about it.
Yeah, so I'm coming at it from a sort of purely football perspective, and you're right. I hadn't even thought about the financial fair play issue that Everton
Forest
made.
are another one, like us. If they go down with the money they've spent on Dross, I believe, they'll be in trouble.
But it's common knowledge that the majority of the teams in the Championship are on massive debt, that they're struggling to pay players. They are on a sort of hand-to-mouth existence. So if Everton suffer that sort of financial breakdown and go into that different environment, which the fans are not familiar with, the Everton fans are not familiar with Championship football.
We don't know a lot about it, but you've actually really hit the nail on the head. That's everything I expect.
Well, yeah, but he's especially hit it on because we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. If we do go down to the Championship, we don't have players that are gonna play physical football. Now, the only difference that might be is that a lot of
I actually do think we have. I think that's what we do have. I think we can do physical football. I don't know what games you've been watching. I can point to a lot of games earlier this season where we were just bullied off the ball. Specifically, the one we even won 1-0 at Goodison Park. Maybe we can't do it well.
Just bullied us. Well, that's what I'm saying. Now, listen, that point could be rendered moot though, because a lot of these players will fuck off, and no matter who we sign, even if they're trash players, at least they might be young, hungry players that will put a boot in somebody and at least be up for the fight. We don't know that yet, but with this current squad wouldn't survive in the Championship. They'd be mid-table at best.
I completely agree. The current squad would not get promotionship out of the Championship, in my opinion. No chance. It wouldn't happen. But I mean, that's just my view. Rightly or wrongly, you could Everton could stay up, Leeds could go down. I think probably Southampton are down. There are massive games coming up, so we're playing Bournemouth. You guys got Leicester. I couldn't call it, but
must wins though. You can't lose those games.
But every game for the past 3 weeks for me has been must win, and same for every team at the bottom of the league. Also, what the previous caller Woody was talking about Everton having a big performance in them, and they could upset somebody and they could surprise somebody. Well, everything that's happened past, in the last 5 minutes is now history. What's telling me that Everton are going to pull out a big surprise performance? Surprise being the operative word. I can't see any evidence to see that Everton are going to beat Leicester. Leicester should have beaten us, frankly. And Leicester,
they were up for it the last 20-25 minutes. Yeah.
Leicester need one more twist of the knife and they're safe. And they're going to be targeting this Everton game massively as a season definer for them. They're going to be targeting Everton.
And you know what, right? That's what I'm more afraid of, that we haven't even got to, because I'm sure we'll cover that in the pre-match and all that sort of thing. Leicester are going to be more up for this game than we are. And that's a sad truth.
You said it.
Yeah. I can't stomach a lot of this. And I'm going to be honest, Rob, I watched you against Leicester. I thought what I saw was a little bit like players that were slightly lost. I don't quite understand it, because I think in terms of forward positions, some of them are quite impressive. The guy who was injured for a while, what's his face?
Rodrigo. Or Patrick Bamford, one of the two.
Scored quite a lot of goals earlier in the season. Bamford's reminding me of like a Calvert-Lewin-esque sort of.
Bamford is not a natural goal scorer. Never has been. He had that 17-goal tally in COVID when there were no fans. Now, when Rodrigo came to Leeds, he was the starting centre forward for Spain. But I'm going to get boring here, but for me, Bielsa was the massive catalyst for Leeds. He saved that club single-handedly.
We were trying to get.
We're not talking about
with him.
We're not talking about Leeds. We're talking about Everton. What I said in one of the comments earlier was that relegation is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes probably about 3 or 4 years to relegate a club, and you have to have mismanagement on a regular basis for 3 or 4 years. Then you'll go down.
Well, look at us. We've done it in 2. How about that?
Well, okay, but what I'm trying to say is it doesn't happen overnight. It's not. Right.
I understand.
8 games that we're down.
Oh, we know. We know this isn't.
No, but that you're and again, I'm not. Everything you're saying is absolute sense, but you're just proving the point. I still to this day can't believe that there are still people out there who side with the board, who side with the owner, who side with this nonsense of a backroom staff. It's beyond a joke. It's laughable. It's a wind up at this point, and it's a disgrace, and it's a stain that's going to be on our club for a long time.
I don't want to sound patronizing. I feel sorry for the Everton fans. Genuinely, they're huge. the atmosphere. I've never been to Goodison, but you can get.
We'd prefer Leeds to stay up than Leicester, I can assure you. But I don't need to go into too much of the politics there.
If you got guns to my throat, of course I want Everton to go down to the Leeds. I'm a Leeds fan, and equally that's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Of course.
You're not going to detriment your own team. But I think I share the pain with the guys in the bottom. In the bottom, I reckon it's probably 3 from 5 that go down now. But the next games at the weekend are absolutely huge. They all, they have been for the last 3 or 4 weeks, but defining, I think, for the next, us against Bournemouth, you guys against Leicester. I can see us losing to Bournemouth. I can see Leicester beating you guys. Well, I can see any outcome of those 2 games, frankly.
Yeah,
I'm going to say in my heart of hearts, I don't know.
You don't even mean what you're about to say.
I don't know. I think we deserve to be relegated because of accumulation of 2+ years of bad football on the pitch, and then the other stuff that's gone behind in terms of the wasting of the money for years before that, and the miss. 2 years and 1 month ago, Rob, we were near top of the league. We were fighting for top 4. We had Rodriguez, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, Decore Alan. We had Lucas.
Was that Ancelotti?
Yeah, we had the genius in charge. Yeah, I think we were what happened was James Rodriguez got injured a lot and Decore got injured, and we tailed off. So we went from top 4. We went from kind of like a top 4 scenario, the couple of injuries. He used to play 4 centre-backs across the back 4. Because we didn't have the full-backs then. He didn't trust. I think Luca Dean got injured and he played golf. We were fine, but the coaching is a different quality there. What I'm trying to say was we've gone from fighting for top 4 in 2 years. Now the likelihood is we'll be championship next season. It's scandalous. It's scandalous.
A friend of mine often uses the term. He said, Rob, winning is the same as losing. It's exactly the same. It becomes a habit. You can, if you're winning, you can play badly and win because you're going to win. The confidence in the team. If you're losing, you can play brilliantly and lose in the 90th minute, and you're going to lose because it's the cancer's in the team. It's a habit, a losing habit and a winning habit. I mean, I remember that Everton team, but it struck me that when James came back from his injury, he just sort of didn't really fancy it anymore.
Well, Rob, what we've done, rather than we were paying a lot of money for players who were at massive clubs, possibly on the fringes or need a change of scenery, and most of them are in their own right individuals, very good footballers. Paid a lot of money, didn't quite work out. We've had to get rid of them. Most players that we've had over 5 years have left on a free, or we've had them on a loan. There's been no way of getting rid. And what we've done over time, over this 2 years plus, this recent 2 years, we've gone out and bought the worst players from other clubs who are now the struggling clubs. So we got Damari Gray, who was a failure at Leicester and shipped out for £1 million. He'll turn up 1 in 10 games. And there's plenty, he'll be back in a sec, plenty of examples of doing that. And you can't expect to go and sign Ben Godfrey, relegated at Norwich, Jordan Pickford, relegated at Sunderland, Garner Gay, who was shipped out of PSG. But there's more examples that are better there. Tarkowski relegated last season. Dwight McNeil relegated last season.
Keane.
I'm sure Decore was relegated with Watford. Keane relegated with Burnley at one point, maybe. Yeah. There's quite a few options. What I'm trying to say, it might not be. You don't have to be. If you get relegated, it doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad player. Of course, that doesn't always the case. We bought Sigurdsson. You could say he was a bad player. It's the winning mentality doesn't come from failure. These players have failed.
Yeah, you're absolutely. I've got a question. I completely agree with everything you've just said. It's a winning mentality. Now, my question to you is this: can you give me a list of Everton players who you've seen notable improvement in? Players that have started with an Everton career or been signed for Everton, and you've looked at them in sort of 5
over the course of how long?
You choose players that have notably improved from what you expected from them, or you think, wow, this guy's much better than I expected him to be. Who's the Onana? He's quite good, isn't he?
21 years old. Yeah.
I'll answer this first.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Give me a list. Give me a list of those players who have notably improved since they signed for Everton.
I'll answer this, and then I'll go to Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
And Everton, the doc, I know you're waiting, but we'll bring you in, I promise. Richarlison was the only one that I thought that when we bought was not going to be that good. We paid a lot of money for him. He only had 5 goals. We did turn him into something of note.
Well,
in terms of
Not at Spurs though.
Not at Spurs, yeah, but he's gone then, so we've done our bit.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I won't interrupt.
Yeah, we've done our bit. We've made the money, and actually, that's proved to be good business. If we'd have spent the money well, that's good business. Same with Anthony Gordon, by the way. In terms of actually developing players, I'm not so sure. There's many examples. We tend to send them back the other way. They tend to do quite well, have some pedigree in their career, and come back. As I say, though, Rob, the last 2 years hasn't been like that. We've bought players that haven't had the same expectation. They may have been a flop or on loan or a freebie or something. There's something wrong with them. Why?
Dele Alli.
Exactly. Who ironically probably should have something to prove here, but there's not many that we've improved.
I mean, the likes of let me jump in real quick. The likes
Iwobi is not an answer, by the way. We bought him for 34 million.
Yeah,
Iwobi's
an absolute.
He's a fraud.
Don't get me started. The likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I believe he was $1.5 million or something like that. He's definitely improved over time.
We're going way far back there.
He said I could choose the. He said I choose the time frame. Okay, he said give me a list and I choose the time frame. If you really want to get down to it,
you can go back to David Moyes then and Roberto Martinez if you want to do that. I think.
Well, then how far back do you want to go, mate?
In this managed decline, 3-4 years.
What you're saying, Chris, is an illustration of my question. You have to think how far back do I have to go to answer this bloke's question.
Sure. No, 100%.
That's my exact point. You've got to struggle to go back through the years and think, well, which Everton player has improved since they put a blue shirt on? Let me, how far do I have to go back? So what I'm going to do is, and I won't harp on this, Bielsa was at Leeds for 2 years, a little bit over. Every single player in that Leeds squad improved. Every single player. Calvin Phillips got the Player of the Year in the Euros, Player of the Tournament. Patrick Bamford got an England cap. Stuart Dallas was, the Cooksdown Cafu. Alioski was touted as one of the best international left backs for North Macedonia. I mean, I don't want to list them, but every single, and that is a coaching achievement. That is a coaching managerial achievement. It's the players count because they're putting the effort in, but that comes from the top. And look at Dyche.
But Bielsa's been very good, and Rob, you make a good point. That Leeds team with the likes of Calvin Phillips and stuff, and if you sell well, even then, and you reinvest well as you should potentially be able to do, you can build from that point. I don't think you have, as you know, you've not invested the money as well as you should have.
We haven't built. We've got Luke Ayling, Melier, Cooper, all those sort of promotion guys still in the team. 3 years down the line, we've got
the money for the Phillips is in the.
I promise I'll stop talking about Leeds.
This is a free form. All I'm saying is you should the money Rafinha, the money for those players. You've got big money for them. You should have been able to then buy 2-3 decent players. The likes of Ruta and all of them.
Ruta's one for the future. Tyler Adams is good. He's injured. McKennie,
but you need players now.
Sorry.
You need the players to make an impact now. If it's to replace players who are making an impact now, this is the problem we had. You can't replace your best players with players for the future. You need players. If you're relying on them now, you need players who can have an impact now.
At this stage in the season, absolutely 100% right. You need to have an impact now for sure, definitely, of course.
Yeah.
Have
you got anything else you want to add, Rob? Before
listen, guys, I've probably taken up a bit too much of your time. Just to reiterate,
we loved speaking to you. You've been fantastic. Thank you.
Great channel. I love talking football. You better kick me off now, or I'll keep rattling on. But no, keep up the great work. Brilliant channel. Really enjoyed it, and yeah, it's great to have the opportunity to share some opinions.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. We'll definitely have you on next time. Thanks for your viewership.
Cheers,
Thank
guys.
you, mate.
Cheers,
good man.
Well, it's going to be tough to follow. Not going to lie to you, but
he's very, very good, very intelligent guy. Got a lot of well-balanced comments, and much appreciate having people like that on.
Thanks for your patience, by the way, Everton and the Doc. We'll bring you on now if you can hear us. How's it going over there?
Can you hear me?
Gotcha. Yep.
Hello, mate. How are you doing?
This might be a wind-up coming.
No, I know him. He's
never mind.
Yeah,
must have. If you might have accidentally muted yourself, maybe not. But
Les, what would you like to say? And by the way, anyone watching, we've got space coming up for the next caller, so the link's scrolling across the bottom. We'll get you on. Les,
is that Les Dennis? Well done.
Unfortunately, there's nothing coming out of Les's mouth.
Here's something. Les, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
We could hear you all along, pal.
And he's gone.
We might need Rob back.
Yeah, I got to take
some fumbling going around there.
Try and jump out and jump back in. We'll give it one more try. No, Rob spoke a lot of sense, and again, I know he doesn't want to talk about Leeds, but he does want to, but he kept saying he wouldn't.
Talk about Leeds.
That's my point. Like everything he was saying made a lot of sense. Especially, it's a perfect comparison for everything we're going through, from the likes of Championship football, from the likes of finances. Every single thing coincided perfectly with what Everton are going through. We can talk about freaking Leeds all day if that's what it means, because this is shit that we're probably gonna have to prepare for the next little bit. I hate being so pessimistic. I think I might have finally accepted it today. Sorry, Ryan. Go ahead.
Is this Leeds are the perfect example. Big club, and got relegated with a good team. I don't know the ins and outs, but I know there was like Viduka and there was Harry Q. They were doing Champions League things and got relegated with a lot of money in the team. Sunk. And 16 years is a long time to be away from it. Burnley, though, I've played football in the Championship and they've played their way back up. So
not only that, Burnley, a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but I spoke to a few last season that said Burnley might do the double drop. I mean, Burnley lost the likes of Ben Mee. They lost Jem Tarkowski, Dwight McNeil, Nick Pope. I'm probably missing a couple, but I mean, those are all players in the Premier League now, whether you agree with it or not. They lost half of their roster, their quote unquote good players. And look what's happened. I'm not saying that's exactly what would happen to Everton or any other, but it's a possibility. And it's just one of those where you have to hope that happens. You have to hope players will want to come and play for us. And quite frankly, why the fuck would anybody want to come play for us right now?
Yeah, it's embarrassing. We've got time for someone else to come in the comments. That is the address. You just type that out. You can come in on audio only. It's I know a lot of people will be abroad and stuff, so I don't know whether Chris is going to continue into past UK midnight or whether we're going to wrap up. But we would like to get one more person on. It would be good. So we'll stay here. Hopefully, someone in the background is typing in that https://streamyard.com. Mike Vienna Papa Vienna Echo Alpha Bravo Charlie 64.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's got that right. You read it so slowly, so.
My Vienna Papa.
No, it's we appreciate the viewership, by the way. As always, like and subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate it. We've gotten a lot of new subs today, by the way. I don't know if you checked the count, but
yeah, and to be fair, I'd trade all the subscribers for an Everton win, and that's
just for 3 points.
It's probably just a slight thing. At least it keeps people going. Someone asked if we'd still do the streams in the Championship next season. The honest answer is I don't know.
Okay, well then I will. I'll do the streams for when we play Southport in a few seasons, and I have no shame about it.
I don't know. Let's get someone on. Come on, someone come and speak to us.
Hang on a second. I gotta back up a second. You're telling me you won't do the streams next season?
I don't know how mentally I'm going to feel. I'm assuming it will.
No, it's you're just upset today. That's okay. You didn't mean that.
I'm pissed off. I don't know. Chris, while we're waiting for someone hopefully to come on and speak.
Yeah.
There's 190 people watching.
Yeah, but they all feel like us. They don't want to come cry on air.
Come and cry. Come and speak to us. Come and.
By the way, Amy, I think I'm assuming Amy might jump on when she gets home, so I'll stick around for a bit if you have to go and wait. And if Amy doesn't jump on, I'll wrap it up. But what were you about to say while we're waiting? Go ahead.
Well, give me your player ratings before I.
Do we really want to do this?
Yeah. Still some time. Jordan Pickford.
4
therapy. How so?
5. I mean, you allow 4 goals. I'm not saying there were a couple he didn't have a chance on. I get that, but the first goal, he's made a save, but it's gone right to Callum Wilson, where he could have done a little bit better with it, in my opinion. Let's see if your buddy Les is on a different mic. By the way, I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this. I'll give it a shot. I'll even give Pickford a 5. He wasn't great. Godfrey
made a great save. His kicking was appalling, and I need to see those goals back. But should he just come and claim them, Chris?
But that's the thing. I have trouble with that because watching everyone else. I've sort of forgotten if Jordan Pickford was even good or bad because I'm focused on all of the outfield players. Mikalenko gets a 2, 3 at best. Ben Godfrey gets a negative probably. Keenan Tarkowski, give Tarkowski a 4. I mean, you concede 4 goals, even if you were even let's just pretend he had a good game. It still conceded 4 goals. He gets a 4 at best and probably a 3. You go to the midfield. Ghana Gay gives up possession, not nearly as much as Iwobi, but plenty enough for me. Why is Ghana Gay taking free kicks, by the way? What's going on?
Wait, Chris, did we lose 4-1 or 5-1?
We lost 4-1. I thought it was 5-1 too, but that goal that got disallowed, so it's 4-1 was the official.
Yeah, someone saying something got passed. I didn't even see that. I'd left.
Oh, well, then technically, okay, well, then from that perspective, yes, technically he left.
What was that last goal?
Last goal was ruled offside on the initial build-up, and then it comes back out, and then Shore, or Cher, however you say his last name, just puts a screamer past Pickford that was just as good as the, or I guess it was kind of low away. It wasn't as good as the Callum Wilson goal, but whatever the case was. So it basically was 5. Whatever the case, Ghana, Decore, and Onana, I mean, first half they were up for it. I think it's more on the defense rather than them. Not that they were spectacular. So I guess I'll give them a 5 at best. Iwobi gets a 3, and I'm being very, very generous with Iwobi there. McNeil gets a 4 only because he had the bollocks to have a go, even if his shots weren't very good. And then Calvert-Lewin gets a 5. Only he didn't have much to work with. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and give him a 5. Sean Dyche gets a 0.5. I won't give him a full 0, but might as well. Sean Dyche was awful. I can't say that enough. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of forget the fact that it's not rocket science. Just any idiot could make these obvious tactical, whether it's substitutions or just tactical switches, whatever you want to call it. He's doing nothing. And if he is doing something,
back, your job is to you all you've done your career is defend 1v1 as a right back. You should have brought on Patterson. He should
have started Patterson. He should have brought up Patterson at halftime just to not embarrass Godfrey fully. Just bring Patterson on 80 minutes. It's not taking the piss. You're just trying to protect your player, and you can't even do that. It's awful. Mm-hmm. It's awful, and it's criminal to leave Godfrey on for that entire game. Actually, it makes you feel bad for Godfrey. I felt bad for Godfrey even after he was just shit the whole game, but he's getting hung out to dry.
Yeah, his face when that third one, and I was just looking at him, and it was like he just looked like lost.
Yeah,
I was just like to say,
he's
probably thinking, why am I playing right back? I'm not a right back anyway. I don't defend 1v1.
So I haven't brought this up. We missed Seamus Cole. We know that. Do you think that? Okay, let's say Seamus Coleman was 70-75%. If this is the last game of the season, Seamus Coleman probably plays. Do you think it was one of those where even if it's a bad strategy, call it whatever you want, we were trying to save him for Monday?
I do suspect that there was an element of that.
I still don't like it because if you're fit at all, you have to be playing every game is massive. So I think he should have played today if he was fit. But the thought crossed my mind at least.
Les, you need to turn whatever device you're using, you need to turn the microphone on. It says your device is not connected. Once you've done that, I'll bring you in. My player ratings. Pickford made a good save from a second phase of play in a corner. Kicking was atrocious. I think maybe the goals, I think he could do something better. I don't know. I'm going to give him a 5, 4. I don't know. Left back, pointless. He's just pointless, isn't he? Pointless. 3. Michael Keane, pointless. 2.
Not to mention, forget the defense. He also probably wasted our best chance of the game. Coming down the line, all he's got to do is slide it over, and it's a tap in. And he just tries to fire some crazy worldy. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, there was a few of them. It's stupid. Should have just passed it across. Pass it across for someone to slot.
Yeah, Onana and Calvert-Lewin. Why? Bang. In the net. Not even thinking about it. Even they couldn't miss that sitter. Only one that could miss that would be Neil Mope.
No brain. This guy, Michael's got no brain, sadly. Centre back, James Tarkowski, I'm going to give him I think he was the better of the two. Maybe he would get a 3.5. Right back, Ben Godfrey, I'm going to give him a -10. He can say that he's not a right back. Fair enough.
So -5 then.
He's a minus, yeah. Midfield, Ghana, he won the ball back high up the pitch earlier on in the games for large spells, but then the second goal, the long range one, why is he not closing down? Gets caught. He's not also protecting over on the right hand side, because that third jinking run goal or the fourth goal, everyone comes across to try and stop him, and he still manages to beat everyone because no one puts in a proper foot and proper challenge or a proper block. And Ghana. So for me, he's He's got it. You can't get more than a 4. I mean, no, kept the ball well and got interceptions and tackles and stuff, but again, faded. So he's got to have a 4. Doucouré, again. But the team lost 4-1. So although I'm inclined to say that they didn't do that bad, I can't give him more than that.
Right.
McNeil, he scored the goal. He worked hard. I give him a 5. Iwobi, I'm going to give him a 3. His end product was useless. He did beat one player for pace at one point.
He turned the ball over 87 times. Iwobi. And then he took a corner that was just blatantly wasted amongst 10 other things. Iwobi was awful.
Calvert-Lewin, pointless. And on that bombshell, I'm going to hand over the reins to someone who's a few hours before me and let you continue. If you can get anyone else on, if not, then you might just want to read out a few comments.
Yeah, we'll be a couple. I'll shoot Amy a message, and if she won't come on, then we'll wrap up. But hey, you had to witness it live, so my condolences. And honestly, all jokes aside, I hope Jazz is doing okay.
Yeah, okay.
But,
thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Cheers, Chris. Guys, if you're watching, please stick around with Chris. He's fantastic. He's a very good asset and a wonderful friend. So please stick on and watch him and support him, even if he just gives you another 10 minutes of his time and goes through some comments. But if you do want to join, that is the link. We had some fantastic speakers on today already. And of course, please subscribe and support us as a channel because we wouldn't be doing this without you guys. Thank you so much.
And don't forget, as goes this channel and Everton, we've had good times. Cheers, Ryan.
We've had good times. But we're terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Never fluke goal. Average goal. Never average goal. Then a lucky goal. Then a fluke goal. Never average goal. Never average goal. Super Frankie Lampard. Yeah, man. Frankie's not exactly living his best life right now either, though, is he? Well, I guess he is. He's getting paid plenty of money to not win a game with £600 million worth of players, which is quite shocking because as bad as Graham Potter was, you at least thought, well, maybe with a little bit of time, Potter could build something. But Lampard's just gone in and done exactly what everybody thought that Lampard was going to do. Even the most cynical of fans, though, thought that Lampard would nick a win out of the first 5 or 6 or whatever it is. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't care about Chelsea. I don't even really care about Everton right now. I think we're all in the same boat of just being quite angry. Thanks to all for liking and subscribing. We appreciate that. The link there is for our phone in right now. We'll take a couple more calls if you guys want. And if you're just too depressed or pissed off or don't want to jump on, that's totally cool. More headlocks. Yeah, maybe that would get the team wound up. And also put just put a headlock on another player. They'll probably go down like they've been shot, and then we'll get another red and suspended for 3 games. But depending on who it is, if it's Iwobi that puts the headlock on and gets suspended for 3 games, and they force James Garner, our best player for the last 2 weeks on the pitch, might not be the worst thing in the world. Yikes, 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 yikes. And I hate to keep slating on it's not just Iwobi, but he's just been so awful for a while now, and it's enough is enough, that one would think. But anyway, if you have things to say, we are right here. Throw it in the comments. I don't really want to see them again, but I almost wish I could go back and look at the goals just to point out every single person who was out of position. What makes you say Garner was our best player? Did you watch our last 2 games, the Blues? He was he was one of the only guys that was up for it against Palace, for one. And against Fulham, again, not really many players did much against. I guess I could say McNeil might have been our man of the match against Fulham. You can make a case, but I just Garner was the only one that was up for it in the first half against Palace, I think. Iwobi even played somewhat decent, but I just thought. Now, the issue is, I don't know where Garner would have slid in, because with Onana and Doucouré coming back, I don't even mind the starting lineup in the central midfield. And Garner's a central midfield. So to me, Garner has the capability to play a little bit out of position because he seems to have the right mindset and just, quite frankly, the skills. Try something. I don't want to keep hearing Iwobi is playing out of position. Iwobi's natural position is on the bench right now. That's what it is. And so whether Iwobi's on the right and the center, it doesn't matter. He's playing like crap. He really is. And honestly, well, now, you know what? I won't even say that about me. I was going to say something about McNeil, but McNeil at least looks up for it and looks like he has the fight. I just don't see it from Iwobi. I wanted to see James Garner out there at some point before the 85th minute. That's what I wanted to see. Wanted to see Ellis Sims out there too. I wanted to see Ellis Sims coming on when we're down 1-0 instead of fucking Neil Maupay taking his top off and about to come on the pitch when we're down 1-0 before the second goal goes in, and all of a sudden he puts his top back on and we don't bother with it, and then Ellis Sims comes on 15 minutes later, whatever it was. I don't want to see Neil Maupay playing, much less over Ellis Sims. It's a joke. What is Deitch thinking? Tell me what he's thinking. I want to hear a tactical argument for playing Neil Maupay over Ellis Sims right now. Anybody, find me an argument. I would, but it doesn't. I don't have the time to go and edit it right now. But we'll find a way to do that the next day or two. I mean, we've got another match on Monday, which means we have another match preview or pre-match build-up, whatever you want to call it, on either Saturday or Sunday, and we're done with Thursday right now. So it won't be long before we have to start talking about this dross again to prepare for our next 5-1 shrubbing when Leicester just turn us over. Because from what I've seen, I don't expect anything less. I don't know if I know Iheanacho went off injured last game, looked like a groin, so he'll probably be out, but that shouldn't stop anybody else. Daka might still be injured, but I mean, Harvey Barnes, Jamie Vardy, they'll each have a brace. You expect it, right? What are we going to do with the King? I don't know. We're all frustrated. We're all frustrated. Absolutely bonkers frustrated, because as good as Newcastle are, and let's have it right, Newcastle are a very good side. Make no mistake about it. Outclassed, outquality, whatever you want to call it. They're that much better than we are. I refuse to. I know it's been said a lot on the stream tonight that don't blame it on the players because they gave everything they had. They gave a lot. Not going to deny that. I don't know about everything they had, but our players just aren't that good. I can get behind that point and that statement, but don't know. There's so many things you can say, whether they're better or not. The fact is, we just got thrashed with this whole, with the whole fans getting what they want, support behind the team, incredible Goodison atmosphere, pyro, fireworks, coach greeting, everybody's up for it. Possibly the last Premier League game under the lights, if you want to be pessimistic or just realistic, pessimistic, whatever you want to call it. Might have been the last Premier League game under the lights. It's a Thursday night at Goodison Park, a place that used to be a fortress, and that's what we come out with. Tough to take. Hey, speak for yourself, Becky. You got a phone. You got a computer. Come on. Good stuff in the comments. Again, as we said, not that anybody's getting out of line, but don't be out of line in the comments. Be classy. Don't mind the banter. We're shit. I know it. Feel free to say it. I have no problem. I haven't been blocking our away fans by any means or anything like that. As long as you keep it classy and don't get personal and things like that. Whatever. But you guys are fun. You guys are absolutely fun. Fantastic viewership tonight, by the way. Can't stress enough how much we appreciate it. Everybody everybody liking and subscribing. I certainly appreciate that. Thank you very much. I have gained some subs tonight, and not to repeatedly plug my channel, but I'm going to do it just one more time since everybody's helped me out so much in subscribing. Please throw that on there. Throw me a subscription on YouTube. I've got some very cool podcast guests coming up. They will be appearing both on my personal podcast and on our Follow Everton channel as well. And that'll be coming in the next few weeks, which I'm really excited about. Possibly a couple of former players in there too. Still working on that, but we'll keep our we'll keep our fingers crossed. But I'd appreciate that very, very much. Thank yous. But if anyone wants to jump on, I'll probably stick around 5-10 more minutes or so. Sorry, I'm just catching up on the comments here. Sorry about the crap, but I can see no change. No. What's going to change? Who's going to get better in the next 4 days? What player on our team is going to get better in the next 4 days? And I know there's a lot of people out there that are saying, surely Sean Dyche can't start Ben Godfrey on Monday. Why? He's been making every bad decision for the last, few weeks. Why would he? Hello.
Hi.
Oh, love. I'm so sorry. It's not. I know. I believe if we don't laugh, as you know, if we don't laugh, we'll cry. So we're all fucking upset. I'll tell you what, the post-match reaction is by far the best one that we've ever done.
Is it?
I mean, it's just rant after just absolutely furious. We got a hell of a Ryan rant. We got a Mabsy rant. We got a Jeff, a Jan. We got them all. But and then we got yours on the bus. So we actually got rants from everyone on the channel except John, and we'll get his next time.
Oh, it's a bloody shame.
Shit,
I'm
isn't it?
really bullied on Twitter.com right now as well.
Well, that's what you get for having thousands of followers. What you expect?
It's what I get for taking pyros so much, apparently.
Well, no, it's what you get. To be fair, I mean, you've taken the piss for a while. We get sometimes if you throw it out, you got to take it when it comes back at you.
It's been a while since the rinsing, to be fair. So I was due one. Look at this tear. I'm never going to get that out.
No, it's going to be there a while. You'll have to go. You'll have to look like me before you get that out.
I was really scared the first time I found out you were bald. You know, I really didn't expect it.
Why? What'd you expect?
Her, obviously.
Why? Yeah, but how? Like, what does my voice give away that I have hair? I'm confused.
Yeah, I was just like, whoa, there's nothing there.
I started losing my hair at 23,
Did you
and
stop
I
at 22?
I respect anyone out there who is religious, but that to me is proof that there is no God. Yeah. What did I do to deserve that? But I didn't start. When did I start shaving my head? I guess I was about 27. Because for a while I tried to like pretend like it wasn't happening. I had a bad case of denial, and so I had the absolute worst hairline. Like my hair was basically like a little. You could clearly see that it was receding, and so I had like a hair bit like here, and then a big bald spot here, and then just a little bit of fluff. Like I probably have pictures somewhere, but it was just absolutely embarrassing. And then when I started shaving it, it's okay. Now I kind of like the way it looks. I can pull it off. You
can pull it off. You do all right.
Yeah, took me years though, because they call it us in the shaved head club. They call it going home, because once you do it, it's not coming back, and you know that. So you try to hold out hope for a while, kind of like Everton. Once they go, they're not coming back. So you try to hold out hope for the longest time. What an analogy! Who would have thought that tonight we'd compare shaving your head and going bald to Everton Football Club? But that's what you get here, ladies and gentlemen, here on Follow Everton. Welcome into all our new viewers. If you haven't liked and subscribed,
please don't judge him by some of the comments. Apparently, not many blues in here.
No, there's plenty. We've had some good ones. We've had, trust me, this is mild compared to what it was right post-match. We had a load of Newcastle fans in here, which whatever. I don't mind the banter. I really don't. I don't mind you taking the piss. I really don't. We're shit. You're better. Fine. Just all we requested was don't make it personal and don't get, into that sort of thing with fellow fans. And that stopped fairly quickly. I think it was just the ones right after the match. Whatever, it is what it is. We know what we're going to take. Again, the channel's growing. We've had more viewership in the last few weeks than we've ever had, especially today. And so it is what it is. It comes with the publicity of putting ourselves out there. I have no problem taking that. I just wish our fucking team was a little bit better.
Yeah, it's watching them, like, the fight fall out of them. Like, it literally, like you see it. Like when I always say, when you work in customer service, you see people's brain cells falling out their ears as they walk in.
Right.
It was like that. It was just like, it was just watching them, like, it just drained out of them. It was awful. Like,
it's so fucking fitting, right? And I'm swearing way too much, but I don't care. It's past midnight overseas. You guys can live with it.
Yeah, it's past 12. Past the watershed now, love.
But it's so fitting. 25 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it was. We're dominating every sense of the quality possession, the quality chances. First chance they get, bang, 1-0.
Yeah.
And it's just you talk about suck. It's like sucking the life out of a balloon or sucking the helium out of a balloon. It's just drained. And even after that, didn't hang our heads. So fought back, had a couple more chances. Mostly wasted possession, though, to be fair. But you get a great chance at the end of the half. You still go into halftime down 1-0. It's not the end of the world. You've played decent. You're still up for it. Attacking the Gladys end. First minute of the second half, Godfrey gets torched. Almost 2-0. Should have been 2-0.
Yeah.
And then it was just downhill from there.
It's just been hard to watch, and I suppose, like, the more it goes on as well. Like, this morning, I was still trying to keep the faith, like, saying to Luke, like, come on, it's fine, don't worry about it. And then watching that, I was just like, how can I have the cheek to tell anyone to not be upset watching this now? It just feels cheeky saying it to be like, come on, keep the faith. Like, it just feels wrong, because I can understand, like, I'm not a season ticket holder. I can count on probably both hands the amount of games I've been to before last season. Like, that was when I properly thought, no, you know what, like, I am going to start doing it. So it's probably my fault. We're so bad, actually, everyone. No, I'm saying.
Yeah, we finally have the right person to blame. We found the headlocker, ladies and gentlemen.
But like, I can get it, you know, like you've been going for like years and years. Like there was a fella I was talking to on the train who's been a season ticket holder for 40 years. Can you imagine watching that week in, week out for 40 years? Like
back then it was fun. 40 years ago it was great.
Yeah. Past 10.
Yeah, you should have asked. You should have asked him what it was like.
I know. I know. It's me stop. I was done.
Be interesting if Border Kennery release a state. Yeah, don't get me wound up on that.
Yeah, they won't. Like Spurs fans, I know a few, and they've always had a problem with Daniel Levy for quite a few years now. But at least he takes some accountability. But like, if we're talking about refunds, I'll take one.
This hasn't been talked about enough. Won't be good for the city if Everton go down. All honesty, I'm a little bit frightened to see what happens in that city the night that happens, if it does happen. That is going to be murder. And I don't mean that in any sort of exaggeration. That's going to be a bad. I don't even want to think about it. Liverpool's my second home. If you've seen my channel, you know how I feel about it, and it's not. I don't even want to think about it. I have no words if we beat Leicester and Bournemouth, maybe, but I think that is the game that relegates us.
You're getting another point in the season.
That's the thing. What is anybody watching that makes us think we're going to go in and beat Leicester on Monday?
Especially not away.
Yeah, Leicester Leicester could listen. Leicester could very easily be up 2 or 3-0 in 25 minutes. And I mean, they have players who have shown, especially in the last couple of weeks, that they're up for it. They go down 1-0. I think it was to Fulham. I'd have to go back and look. I don't know who Leicester beat when they did come back and win their game 2-1. And then they get a draw at Ellen Road. And a lot of that game was very, very ugly. The first half was borderline unwatchable. But Leicester came out for the second half being down 1-0. They nicked the draw, and they almost got a win out of it. They arguably should have won that game. They have the fight. They have the players who can score. We have nothing. So I don't expect the result. I kind of think we're going to get turned over at Leicester. But
that just says it all, doesn't it? 6 games.
6 games from 33. That's a special kind of bad.
Woo.
If we go down, what do? I'm still here. I'm never going to turn my back on this club. I just think it's as shameful and dreadful as possible that it's even happening. But it is what it is.
Go down, honestly. Like, we have the summer off. We bounce back and we do it all over again, and that's just how it's got to go. And
we go down again.
I hope that really shocks him. But honestly, like, my dad says it all the time. Mamsy says it all the time. The mercenaries, these men know that they're going to secure Premier League contracts. And if they don't, they know they're still going to be getting paid grands a week.
Exactly.
They're not. We need to get rid of everyone who doesn't care about us. And I think that means getting an entirely new squad at this
All
point.
the Toon channels are out getting pissed and on. Sorry about my lot coming on your channel and bantering, lad. It's really fine. Again, I don't mind the ban. I appreciate the apology, but it's fine. I don't care. People want to have their say. Listen. I don't fit into a lot of American stereotypes, but I'm usually a beacon of freedom of speech. Not always. I don't mind people having their say. Have it. It's all good. We can take it. We're thick-skinned. You're not going to offend me if some keyboard warrior out there wants to have a go at me on a freaking chat. It's not that big of a deal. But again, like I said, it still does. It gets a little bit annoying just because we have viewers who do take it so sensitively and seriously. Just don't get personal. And it only lasted a few minutes. It's not that big a deal. At least I don't care. Ryan was mad though after the game. Ryan's the venom was coming out. But they were all sat in a car. Mabsy, Ryan, Basil, I think Jazz were all in the car.
Basil at half time. I was looking for Ryan. I think he was crying in the toilet. I'm not sure. Bless him. But it was just hard. Like it was the feeling of being there beforehand and how much we were all so up for it. And even like in the stadium for that first half an hour, it was rocking, and we just got nothing back out of it. And I think that was the hardest part. That was the difference against Fulham, because we tried so hard to play our part in it.
Yeah, Fulham was absolute trash.
Fail.
So the atmosphere was good then for the first half hour. It looked like it on TV at least.
I
have a question for you actually. Is this confirmed true? Are English girls better than French women?
I know no French women to slag them off. Maybe though.
To be determined, chat. I don't want to put anything out there that's definitely not true. So we don't know if English women are better. I have dated girls from the UK. I have not dated a girl from France. But Challenge accepted.
That's the next one. Yeah.
That's what we're going for next. And I like my chances. I've heard things about French women, but we'll leave that, even though we are past the watershed. That's for our premium subscription when we put up a paywall after dark, if you like. Everton fans are fed up. Yeah, just a little bit.
We are.
Listen, Hal's right. I've said it. I'm worried. It's going to be a bad night. It's going to be a bad long time. It's not just going to be one night. Good Lord. I don't want to think about it.
It'll be like, the relief of Palace when everyone was on the pitch. I think the stewards are going to have the work cut out with that pitch invasion if we do go down. Like,
I'll say,
and I know it's not really it's not something to be proud of. It's not something to laugh about, really. But we're just so done with it right now. I really do think it's going to be a toxic atmosphere at best.
If we stay up, it'll be more of the same. Yeah, these crap players will be back next season.
Yeah, we need a full overhaul, which we can't afford.
Yeah, it's a disaster. Only proper Blues are Seamus and Tom.
I agree with Seamus. I don't think Tom Davies gives a flying fuck.
I actually think he does. I think he cares arguably more than anyone not named Seamus and maybe one or two others. The problem is Tom Davis is not good enough to play in League One. And so despite him having the passion and the care, he just physically can't contribute. And again, can't be clear. Not saying he's a bad guy. Not saying he's a bad person. I'm saying he's a shit footballer. The fact that he's even in the side is a joke. It's awful.
Says everything about what we're currently dealing with.
Bad. And again, what I said is true. Then you throw in the fact that he's not the last couple of weeks, but he was consistently getting a game for months. It's so bad.
That just shows what we're left with, and it's just dreadful. Because he's come up through the academy as well, but I don't think he come up through his right. I think he was dragged up because he was the best of a bad bunch in there as well. Sorry.
Well, he had a couple promising moments when he came on. Started off
that
years
one
ago.
City game.
Yeah, of course. But it's been absolute downhill ever. I don't whatever. We've got so many other issues. Tom Davis is the last thing I'm thinking about today. Pete was on earlier on our phone, and we appreciate it, Pete. Thanks for sticking with us, mate. Still got a couple hundred watching. I kind of love this. I've been on for hours, but I don't want to leave these viewers. We've got so many people. We appreciate you guys all sticking with us. We do this for you, quite literally. It's a place where we all listen. We're all. I mean, this has got to be the most angry and frustrated I've ever been. I wasn't around in '94. I wasn't around in '97, '98, whatever. I'm here now. This is. I was here last season. I've been on board with Everton for 15 years. So to everyone out there who thinks I've just jumped on in the last season or two and I'm this happy-go-lucky with it, no, I've been on for a long time, seen a lot of shit, and so
in me telly watching days, I'm 24 now. So let's say earliest memories have probably been 15 years myself. I can't say I can remember much about 20 years ago. Not at this point, Christ. Not with the amount I drink.
Spoiler, it wasn't this bad.
Yeah. I would probably sacrifice at least one of my siblings for a 10th place finish.
We won't say which one. We'll leave that for next time.
I quite like them both equally. It's whichever one does me head in most that day.
Only one that cares was Richarlison. I will say Richarlison cared a lot. You know what? I think Onana cares. I think Decore cares. I think Calvert-Lewin actually cares a lot. I think there are a lot of players who do care, but we've said it so many times. They're just not good. They're just not good players. A lot of them.
They're just not.
And I'm not. It's a little bit of both. I'm not gonna. There was the argument earlier of definitely don't blame the players. They gave it their all. They gave absolutely 110%. No, they didn't. Not all of them did that today. They gave a lot. I'm not going to say the effort wasn't there. I'm not going to pretend like this was the second. Like this was like Fulham a couple of weeks ago by any means.
No, we did play better, but we still got turned over 4-1.
Yeah. So. Credit to Newcastle. They're that much better, but I still think that wasn't our best game by any means. God, I hope it wasn't, because if it was, it's just, you're right. We won't get another point.
Yeah.
But
I can't see where they're coming from. They're not coming from any away games anyway. So.
Yeah. Mashiri needs to sell. Yeah. Preaching to the choir. Players like Michael, for example, he's not a Premier League left back. He's not a championship left back, mate.
We paid £20 million for him. I stuck up for him weeks ago. Take all my words back. Take him right back. I'm an idiot. Don't worry about it. Last time Everton were relegated, was it
1951?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I know my history.
It's enough to make you hard. Really worried about our fan base going into the future. Why?
My kids are gonna be
Everton.
taught.
I mean, hang on. Like, I mean, if you have kids growing up, maybe like a few. It's not going to be a ton though. Everton. How many? I don't know how many are on our waiting list, but it's a ton. We sell out the season ticket allotment. We have thousands upon thousands on our season ticket waiting list.
Yeah.
We still
see them every week. All the kids, they love it.
Yeah.
Like,
they're absolutely on board. They're still honestly, if you're that young anyway, you don't really know the difference. You'll ask why aren't we playing Arsenal and United?
they've
and all
seen
that.
us be terrible.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and honestly, if we really want to get into it, for the kids that are a little bit older, next season, if we're in the championship, we'll be playing the likes of Norwich and teams that we've played before that have been relegated anyway. I was going to say Sheffield United, but they actually clinched promotion yesterday. But Southampton will be down. Fuck off. I don't even want to think about going down. I can't. I'm trying to not make myself say it because I don't want to. I do not. I am absolutely in denial right now, and I don't want to accept.
I'm resigned to it now, me.
I
am
can't.
completely.
You saw it today.
I said it after Wolves on Boxing Day, me. I was like, if we lose today, that's it. There's no way, because we were fighting with those teams at that point in keeping up, and look at where Wolves are now. And it's just giving away like stupid games. When we lost against Bournemouth, we lost against Southampton, we lost against Wolves. That's what's put us down here. We can turn up against teams like City and Arsenal all we want, but it doesn't matter when you're losing against your relegation rivals.
This is a perfect thing that Ryan's been saying for the longest time. If you're buying Burnley players, Burnley managers can only expect one thing. Exactly. We're buying crap players. We're buying relegated players. It's what we've done forever. It's just it's an abomination. It is an absolute abomination. How was the coach welcome anyway?
Brilliant. It was so good. One of the best ones probably since last season. Definitely the best one this season.
Ryan hates it.
Why?
He just thinks he's got a point, to be fair. He said he can't stand that we're giving these players this hero's welcome for being trash.
I get that, but for the entire coach meet today, 2-3 minutes of it was about them. The rest of it was about us. It was about
uniting the fans.
An atmosphere, being united, being up for it, being ready for it when we all feel so nervous and so down and so shitty about it all. And it's good. Like, it's nice to be surrounded by fellow Blues who just feel the exact same way. Like, it's nice to feel a part of something, because it can be so easy to forget about it all and get so bogged down and forget that you're all actually there behind the same team, loving it. Like, regardless of who plays on the pitch, it's the badge that we're getting behind. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's that club that I started watching because I wanted to watch it with my dad, and the club that I met Ollie Hughes through, I met loads of my mates through. It's the club that I met my fella through, for Christ's sake. Like, it means a lot to a lot of us for entirely different reasons and a lot of similar reasons. And I like that. Like, I like the unity behind it.
And let's be clear, we'll still be bitter and we'll still complain and gripe because we have a right to, but we're still going to be behind this team next season, no matter where it is. Championship quality is poor. Yeah, but the problem is we spoke about this about an hour ago with our buddy Rob, who is a Leeds fan and came on talking sense, and it was great to talk to. But championship football is very, very physical. It's not a game that we're suited to play with these current players. This current squad that Everton have right now would be absolutely mid-table at best in the championship, and I fully mean that. We have no players. They're not just going to all of a sudden remember how to score goals. They can't score goals on shit defending anyway. They can't finish. They can't hit the net. If the net was in the ocean and they were sitting on a boat throwing a ball, it's just, they can't hit the net. They can't score goals. It's irrelevant, because if we do go down, our team's going to look entirely different next season anyway. So I don't see
like our fitness levels dropping dramatically by the end of the first half. Never mind in the second half. We will not keep up with more games, more physicality, more just needing the actual energy to get through a championship game. I can't sit here and pretend I watch a lot of championship games, but when I do, they're hard. Like, they look like hard work. They're actually putting something into it, because there is something there proper to fight for as well. Like, you can't tell me that Everton have sat there for many seasons and thought we're fighting for Europe this season. Not for the past two. Carlo's season maybe, but we dropped off there because of injuries and that.
Right.
But before Carlo as well, it was rare where it was looking like we were going to be able to do it. We're never fighting for Champions League. We're never fighting to win the league. And in the Champions League, in the Championship, everyone is fighting to get promoted, to have that chance to do better in the Premier League. And I think that's what it is. I think you need to have that fight in you already that we're looking to see from the team every week. And unless they all have lobotomies during the summer, I don't know if you can get that kind of I don't know if you can. I think you're born with that kind of personality trait.
And on the lobotomy note, I think we'll wrap up for the night. Boys and girls, we very much appreciate it. I know it's about what, 12:30 over there. Amy's, you've had a long day. I'm assuming you probably heading to bed. What time did you get out there, by the way?
I was in work this morning, so I was
keep forgetting today's Thursday, by the way. I keep forgetting it's an actual work day.
And then I left here at about 1:45. I finished at 12. Left here at 1:45. Was on County Road by about 2:30. Me, I was ready.
Fucking hell! How many blue? What were you drinking? Blue, whatever.
Blue Wickeds. I had 2 cocktail pitchers. Numerous Blue Wickeds. Can't even keep count. A couple of hooches.
Well, you're holding it together very well. I can't even tell.
Thanks. You should have seen me before. I didn't know the words.
Yeah, fair enough. It sobered you up pretty quickly in the game, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff. Everybody, thanks again for all the support, all the viewership. Again, we've had probably our best viewership we've ever had tonight throughout the whole thing. Certainly our most consistent. So we can't stress enough how much we appreciate that. One more time, if you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please do that. We will be back for the pre-match build-up. The game's on Monday. I don't know when Sean Dyche's presser will be, if it'll be Saturday, Sunday. But we'll keep an eye on that. Usually we'll do that the day of the press conference. But regardless, follow us on Twitter at Follow Everton, YouTube at Follow Everton as well. You can find my page on Twitter and YouTube at Follow Everton as well. We certainly appreciate that. And I mean, what else is there to say? We're shite, right?
Woo!
Everton. I don't know. Anyway, thanks everybody. We'll look forward to next time. Pre-match, like I said, Saturday or Sunday, whatever. Just keep an eye out. We'll keep you informed on the Twitter and the YouTube. And as always, even though it didn't apply today, up the toffees, boys and girls.
Up the toffees.